Hi everybody, it's Bob and Brian. We're here with our almost monthly update here, telling you what's going on at LifeSafe, showing you some stuff that we have for sale, and also answering all of your questions. So we just finished the month out with Instructor Michael's Everyday Carry class, which is absolutely my favorite class. I take it as a student, and certainly you should too. So he's got another one coming up in a few months. Be sure to head over to our website, lifesafetraining.com, and sign up for that. This Thursday, we have a skill builder lab on shooting your pistols faster. How do you get faster hits on target? That's coming up this Thursday, the 1st of September at 5:30 over at the Action Pits. And then the carbine class, the much anticipated and very full class with Mr. Margolis over here. Tell us about that.
Carbine. So we will be shooting these things in any caliber you have them, from 22 to 5.56. This class is going to be focused on something incredibly important with carbines, important with any shooting, fundamentals. So fundamentals. This class is really going to be about the fundamentals of the carbine, how to get it on target quickly, how to get rounds on target quickly, how to get good hits, and really how to practice, how to train when you're not in a class with a carbine. So really looking forward to it. It is quite full. It's quite full. We're not going to be shooting at distance. We're going to be shooting in the action pits on paper, not on steel, in the action pits. But the biggest target we're going to have is maybe going to be that big. So really good class. I'm really looking forward to it. And
that should be fun. And those poor guys that have to sit next to you in the other
action pit. It's kind of loud.
It's going to be a little loud.
It's kind of loud. Unless you use one of these.
Which you should get, and we'll probably talk about in just a little bit. The 15th of September, we have another skill builder lab on how to increase your draw stroke. I've developed a rudimentary dry fire practice for you that you can take home and practice how to draw a little bit quicker. So be sure to join us for that on the 15th if you want to learn how to draw your pistol a little bit quicker. Thank you again. We have another full permit class, so thank you again for sending your friends and family and neighbors over to us. That is great. That's happening on the 18th. We do appreciate it. You wanted to talk a little bit about the instructor course that you hold.
Real quick, so several months ago I became what's known as a training counselor, which means quite simply I can train other instructors for the USCCA curriculum. I had a very successful class about 6 weeks ago for new USCCA instructors. It was wonderful. We have a class on the calendar for September. It's coming up a little too quick, and I think I'm gonna push that off to December. So if for some reason you are interested in becoming a firearms instructor, this is a great place to start. You can find that on lifesafetraining.com as well. So that's very cool.
If for no other reason, you get Bob will buy you a really cool shirt. It's great.
Might. Somebody bought me this shirt.
I think actually those are the
ones
I got.
I bought that shirt, and you bought this shirt.
We didn't even plan.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
You should see us shampoo together. On October 1st, we have our Sentry class, which is all-day comprehensive pistol. It is a long class, so it's not just a 4-hour class. It is an 8-hour class, but it is from the fundamentals to very advanced levels. What you need to practice and what you can practice on your own comes out of that class. Really great. You can earn your Sentry coin, which I'm sure if you're watching this, you've seen our Sentry coin before. You can earn your Sentry coin during that qualifier, and that's coming up on the 1st. Another lab on follow-up shots, how to, again, shoot a little bit quicker. And then we have a Making Training Real roundtable on October 13th. These are free to attend, and it's just a discussion. And that is a topic that Instructor Michael came up with, and I like that topic. How do you make your training a little bit more real? How do you add stressors to your evolutions to make sure that you know what you can do if you need to perform something? So that's kind of rounding out the next few months. A couple other pistol labs, but that's coming there. You had brought a lot of toys to show and tell.
I did.
Today.
I brought a bunch of stuff. I'm going to go through them quick. But I just want to give you a little recap of what Brian and Michael and I have been doing for the last couple of months. And that is training with other instructors. So it's very, very important for us to keep our skills sharp, keep our training up. Michael recently trained with on-site firearms training, and he trained with Super Dave Harrington at Combat Speed. I also did those 2 classes. Brian just did a class with Bob Vogel, national champion competitive shooter. And of course, we had the SWAT challenge here at the gun club recently, and I did an all-day class on red dots with aim point. So we're not just sitting around hoping you come to our classes. We're working harder to make ourselves better so that you have great reasons to come to our classes. With that said, I have some stuff for sale. I don't want to be shilling stuff on these videos, but this is a pretty cool Glock 43X. Came to me used with very, very few rounds and some beautiful Trichicon night sights.
These are really thin too. I mean,
I carry the 48, which is the
crazy thin,
longer barrel version of this. Very comfortable gun. This is a Langdon Tactical Beretta 92 in what they call Centurion. I'm a direct dealer for Langdon Tactical. Spectacular gun. So if
really
you're
like
interested
those.
in buying a Langdon Tactical, God, I sell a lot of these. These are fun. They are gentle on recoil. They are pretty cheap to shoot. And they're spectacular home defense guns or just all around good carbines. So I sell a bunch of those if you're interested in a carbine. I also sell suppressors, completely legal in Connecticut. These happen to be rifle suppressors. These are 3D printed, pretty cool. Brand new technology in those suppressors. This one is a 9mm suppressor that goes to different lengths, so you can pull it apart, run it real short, mid-length, or long. So I have suppressors from 22 caliber on up to rifle caliber, and if you're interested in buying any of that stuff, I would love to take care of you. So every major brand, including Wilson Combat, Nighthawk Custom, Langdon Tactical, and then everything you'd find in any gun store anywhere from Glock to Smith & Wesson to Taurus to you name it, I sell it.
These are impressive.
So good stuff. Yeah.
You said 3D printed, and I was thinking like,
Yeah.
is it going to blow apart? These
So
are substantial.
3D printed metal. They are lighter, stronger, quieter, and less expensive than their titanium counterparts. And they're about a half an inch shorter than the previous version. So these
Why
were
would
a
you
big
buy
deal.
anything else?
Yeah, these were a big deal.
Tough sell to buy anything else
Yep.
then. Wow. Very cool. Is that all you have for the...
That's all the shilling I want to do.
this is, I tell you what, these are just super fun.
Yeah, they are.
If you grew up
They
in the
are.
80s, just got to own one. We do have some questions for you.
Okay.
You ready?
Sure.
First one is from Paula. I intend to carry every time I leave the house, and I typically do. Several times in the last year, I found myself leaving the neighborhood, cursing to myself because I left my carry gun on the nightstand. Almost universally, this is because of spontaneous excursion with my husband. I was very busy, focused with work, and all of a sudden he said, "We're going to dinner and we're leaving right now." I got dressed quickly and forgot my gun at home. How do you always remember to bring your firearm? What do you do to reduce the chances of being caught lacking, so to speak?
Well, Paula, the mistake you're making is you're taking your firearm off at home. leave your firearm on, put it on when you get dressed, take it off at bedtime, and then you'll never have to worry about it. What is it that I say in classes, Brian? 100% of home invasions happen at home.
That's right.
If your gun is on your nightstand and you're in your kitchen, you might as well not have a gun.
So a lot of times I think folks think this is a crazy idea. I have two daughters that are very young, 7 and 10 years old. They are accustomed to seeing me with a gun on my hip. And it's not a big deal. The mystery, the intrigue of the firearm, the personification of it has gone away. It's just a thing now. It's dangerous like a knife is dangerous, or like the stove when it's on is dangerous. Yeah, there are things that are dangerous. You don't touch that stuff. But keeping it on me, one, ensures that A, I have it, and B, it's secured, because it's secured in my holster. So I like that idea of just keeping it on, and you have a bedside safe or whatever you have, and you just take it off when you're going to bed, because it's not comfortable to sleep in.
No.
That would be painful. So yeah, I like that. Next question is from Mike. I notice many men carrying a knife as a part of their self-defense everyday kit. Do you have more formal knife training with your classes instead of just firearms? And I know I don't have any training with a knife. I carry a pocket knife, and it's just a tool, basically an Amazon box cutter is really what it is. But I know you carry a defensive knife.
I do.
Sometimes.
I carry a defensive knife most of the time, and I have some formal training with it, and I would suggest that it's a good idea to get that formal training. There is a trainer named Chris LaCava, who was actually just in Avon last weekend doing some training at a dojo. If you look for knife training, you will find it. Knives are very different than guns. They're very different than guns. So it's a good idea to get some formal training. I highly recommend it. And honestly, I don't do it as often as I should.
I think one of my problems is always, there's pepper spray, there's just using my hands, using my feet to run away. I can't, if I'm in a knife fight, aren't I also in a gunfight? And I would much rather be in a gunfight with the other guy that only has a knife. So I don't really know what the answer is, and I'm sure other folks out there, maybe you guys have had some experience with knife skills. Feel free to share with us, because I don't, you have a little bit, but I just can't imagine the scenario when the knife is it, and I can't use either pepper spray or my feet to get away.
Well, the feet are a good option. I would much rather run than fight.
All right, last question. You ready? Marshall, I have seen pictures advertising concealed carry IWB holsters, inside the waistband holsters. The fellows are usually lifting the cover garment with their shooting hand. Wouldn't it be more efficient to lift the cover garment with their offhand, or their non-dominant hand, or their support hand, whatever the heck you want to call it? Great question. If only you had been here this weekend for the everyday carry class with instructor Michael, he could probably answer that for you. But why don't you?
Well, there's two schools of thought, and there's two ways of doing it, and clearly one is with the dominant hand and one's with the support hand. Personally, I typically choose my support hand to clear my cover garment. I know that Michael typically chooses the dominant hand to clear his garment. So try it both ways, see what works best for you. And obviously it's circumstances dependent, right? If you're carrying a bag of groceries in one arm or the other, then you probably are gonna pick your other hand to get to that gun, and hopefully you're gonna drop your bag of groceries, because that would kind of make sense. Unless the Klondike bars are in there.
Yeah, don't drop the
ever
Klondike
drop
bar,
the
my
Klondike
God.
bars. Yeah. Sorry, that phone rang.
So I typically also use my my firing hand, my dominant hand, to clear. Really, two reasons, and this comes from Mike Seeklander, who said, you know, if you're in close proximity, this guy can push out as you're clearing, and then as you're grabbing your firearm, this one comes back to get out of the way, and you can take care of business. So I like having the option of doing that. I also happen to, most days I'm wearing some kind of sports jacket as my cover garment, so obviously clearing with this hand would do nothing. So I typically will just whip my, my jacket over the holster and come straight down and do it. But I've just kind of gotten in the habit of that, and I don't really even think about it. I don't think one is necessarily quicker than the other, but maybe, and if it is it faster enough to make a difference? I don't know.
Yeah, try it both ways.
Try it both ways. Cool. Last thought, sir. That was the last question. I think you did very
was the
well.
last question.
You didn't get stumped on one of them.
No, I tried to push through.
Final words?
Final words. We'd love to see you in training classes. If not with us, with others. There's good trainers around. You should seek us out, seek them out, and get yourself some training. The weather's getting cooler. Some people don't like training when it's super hot. I know that for the Super Dave Harrington classes, it was brutally hot on the range, and it was uncomfortable. But yet, you know, you hydrate and get through it. So the weather's getting cooler. Might be a great time to get out and do some shooting, either recreationally or just training on your own, or train with the whole family.
Terrific. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next month, maybe. Bye-bye.